I want to thank the Republicans for their protest. Listening to Farron Cousins, he reports that Republicans, and I've heard this way before Farron Cousins feared that this might happen. I knew this was going to happen, that they would say the January 6th insurrection was a protest, just a peaceful protest, a demonstration, as they say. They're saying it, and they're saying it on multiple levels, from civilian to politician. Okay, I will go with that. I will agree with that as a protest. I will certainly agree with all of you Republicans that it's a protest. However, you're going to have to, quell your bigotry, your racism. You're going to have to. Why? Because, slavery, that was an uprising, right? That you were scared. All right, fast forward. Voting, black people, minorities wanted to vote. The intimidation, you called them terrorists, you called them angry. You cited that they would overthrow the government and take over the land. Okay, let's fast forward. Black people wanted equal rights, and they wanted to have their own homes, to live in a nice home, live in a nice neighborhood as you do. And there was lots of anger and rage and burning crosses and burning the lawn and spray painting racial epithets and things like that on their cars, their siding, the sidewalks, burning those things into their grass so that it would never grow back, hopefully. Those things that you did. Let's fast forward. Civil rights and the Black Panther Party. Hey, think of everything you did to stop Martin Luther King's marches. His desire to be equal, not better, not stronger, just to have the same things that you have. He was called a terrorist at points. He was called a domestic terrorist. He was called a villain. He was leading freedom fighters, as you would put it. But whoa, really? You call it freedom fighters and you call that freedom bad? That same freedom that you say you're fighting for today? Okay. Let's fast forward. Yeah, look, come on now. We've got the Watch riots, and we got riots all over the place in history of black people that's been destroyed, mutilated, murdered, beaten, ostracized, invalidated by you. So that you have to say that they were just protesting and you stopped their governmental given right to protest. You'd have to say that. Okay, let's fast forward. All that's in the past, right? That don't matter. Well then, how about George Floyd's protest? You called them thugs. You called them terrorists. You called them violent. You said they burned cities. I'm going to tell you something. When a city burns, the nation knows. When a city burns, there are people on the ground filming it. It's a city, okay? A city. If a city is burning, you can best believe the world would say, wait a minute, the United States, they burned the city. And somebody would ask, why did your African Americans burn down an entire city? What would you be able to say other than that's just what they do? They just get mad at themselves and just burn down a city just randomly. Every 30 or 40 years they just burn up a city. No, you can't. Not gonna happen. You knew what happened. You knew what sparked all of these riots, these protests. Because Black Lives Matter, it didn't start as a riot. It started as a protest. Stop killing us. Can you please just stop killing us? Can you stop beating on us? Can you stop hurting us when we've done nothing? And the answer to that was a beating, tear gas, and then being villainized by, well, white people. Not all, just the racists, just the bigots, just them. Decent white people were saying, you know, y'all should leave these black people alone. And you know what else decent white people was doing? Not hurting anybody because they have no need to. They got bills to pay, children to raise, lives to live, not lives to destroy. You racists and bigots and xenophobes couldn't wait to demonize something with your mob mentality and stuff. But you know, you go to the Capitol and it was planned. It was not a great plan, but it was planned. And then you get there, hang Mike Pence, and you've got gallows. You've got zip ties. You've got everything but firearms. You knew why you didn't take firearms to the Capitol. You know why you didn't, because then that way you'd be treated as if you were black people invading the Capitol. And we know what would have happened then. And you're such cowards. What did you do? When one of your own got too close, a military vet that knew better, had gotten back from a few tours, was having time off. She invaded, poked her head through, and got popped in the back of the head. And what did you do? She wasn't us. She was Antifa. She was Black Lives Matter. She was a plant. You threw her under a fake bus. That's what you did. You've got no scruples, no honor, no dignity. But you want to call that insurrection a protest? Then the next time your bigotry and xenophobic ways take root, show their heads, and there's a protest, no matter what level it is, especially if those who are wrong decided to not ruin their own area, but go to the area of those that ruined them and messed them up. Remember, they're just protesting. And there's nothing wrong with a protest, no matter what your intent was that you chanted. Because those minorities are having a movement for a people. You all had an insurrection, a movement, wanted a change of the guard, not for the government, not for the righteousness of the government or anything like that. You did it for a person that lost and lied to you. And to this very day, instead of saying I was wrong and that person is vile and I will never listen to that person again, you're defending your actions. So just keep that in mind next time some minorities want some equality and or to not be hurt.